parents just wanted to spell it differently.
Hey man, that's that black people shit, bro.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's
hey, listen, man. My sister name is Shanae, bro. Chanae, bro. And we
okay.
be
Yeah,
like, we gotta put our names on these damn job applications, fam. You know that, right? But
yeah.
now
No,
she
they
goes by
told me
the
to
name. She goes
my
by
name.
Joy. She's shortening it.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of smarter.
I love it. I love it, man. Zion. So, hey, man, like I was saying earlier before we had started everything, man, your videos, your content, man, it blew me away. The way that you were able to one story tell and kind of be like, hey, this is my journey. This is where I'm at and showcase it. I was like, yo, this is a kid that freaking gets it, man. Like, first of all, what inspired you? No, let me not even get there. I'm jumping the freaking gun because I'm so geeked. Who is Zion, bro? Tell the world who is Zion, bro.
Well, my name's Zion. I grew up with 8 siblings, with 5 sisters and 3 brothers. My birth mom passed when I was like 4, and then my dad remarried about 10 years later, 2000, with my stepmom. So basically, I grew up with 11 people in the house. My dad barely made K a year. My mom, she worked when my stepmom, she worked when she could, but she kind of wasn't getting a hold of jobs. So my dad was basically the provider or whatever. So when we were growing up, my dad always made us get jobs. Like when everybody turned 16, you had to get a job. Like if you don't get a job, you're not playing sports. If you don't get good grades, you're not playing sports. So the household was very strict. And at first, I didn't even want to work. Like I was in high school, like I just wanted to play football, hang out with friends, come home, play the game, eat some snacks, that kind of vibe. But they made us work or whatever. So I didn't want to at first, but that instilled like a really, really great work ethic in me. So over the years, when I got like 17 or 18, like I started excelling at my jobs. I was working at Bojangles for like 2 years. And by the time I left Bojangles, I was training everybody in there. Anybody new that came in, I was teaching them how to do every single station. When the managers would have the manager meeting in the lobby, I'd be running the whole store at 18 years old. And there are people in there that's been there longer than me, people that are way older than me, but I was running like the whole store. So I was like, I need to get paid more because I'm doing more now, but they didn't want to give me that pay. So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of excelling at all these jobs. I worked at Bojangles, Food Lion, a carpet cleaning sales job, like so many different jobs.
And you was doing this from you said 14 to 18, pretty much is
Yeah.
when you had to
So
kind of
from
go out and figure it
14,
out.
yeah. So from like 16, 15 to 18, I was playing. My day in high school was I'd go to school, go to football practice, and then right after football practice, I'd go to work from like 6 to 10. And I did that like every day, Monday through Thursday. And I probably worked on the weekends too because games were on Friday because when I got on varsity sophomore year. So that just instilled like time management, work ethic, discipline, all that stuff in me. So the entrepreneur part came when I was like 18 or 19. I was like, bro, I want to get paid more than, $15 an hour. Like I got on Instagram a little bit more and I was seeing like all these guys like making money online, making money knocking doors, making money online, like selling Amazon products, or just doing like a variety of different things. So I'm like, bro, if they can do it, I can do it too. So I kind of tried to lock in and find something that could work for me that was like low startup cost. And that's kind of how I found window cleaning. And then once I found that, for like 3 months straight, man, I just watched videos on how to clean windows, how to sell, how to talk to strangers, how to make them laugh, just how to talk to somebody you don't know and get them to buy something from you. But then as well, like also have a good service. So when you do talk your service up, you can back it up because the house looks amazing when you finish. So that's a little bit
Absolutely.
about me, my little story.
I love it. No, I love it. So, man, where were you mentally during that process? Like I just heard you list off jobs, which is that's a hell of a responsibility for a young teenager by itself, and still being a student athlete, student first, then athlete. Where were you mentally through that journey? Like how were you coping? Not coping, but just how were you handling all of that level of
That's
responsibility?
kind of a deep question. Like growing up in my household, like our thoughts and feelings were often suppressed. I guess during that time, like because there was a lot going on in my household, a lot going on family wise. And whenever we did try voicing our opinions to our parents, it was just kind of suppressed. Like you're the kid, we're the adults. You do what we have to say. Your opinion doesn't matter. That kind of thing.
So it sounds like you came from old school parenting.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Be
sure.
seen, not heard. What I
Yeah,
say goes. I didn't ask you
yeah,
for your opinion. All right,
yeah.
cool. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, like when you ask why, they say because I said so. So that was kind
Because
of
I
how it was.
said so.
Yup.
Yeah,
So
man.
my like
I come from that
mentally,
era, bro.
okay, I got you. Yeah. So you know where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah. So mentally during that time, juggling football, school practices, the home life, my emotions and feelings were just suppressed throughout that whole time because whenever because everything starts at home. So if you're not being heard at home, or you don't feel like you can express yourself at home, then I didn't feel comfortable expressing myself anywhere else. So mentally, I just like suppressed everything over the years. I didn't really um, have like a better mental health state. So I ended up leaving the home, and I kind of started to find myself a little bit, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. Now, were you using football as an outlet, or was it actually just a true love and passion that you had, or maybe even a little bit of both?
At the time, I thought it was a true passion. I thought like I want to do this, as long as I can. But like I said in that caption, as I got older, well, once football ended in high school, I had a couple opportunities to play at a D3 school called Bridgewater, Virginia. I had an opportunity to play at Lewisburg College of JUCO in Virginia as well. And I had a couple other visits that were D3 and like one D2 school, but ultimately nothing worked out just because around that same time my father had passed away. And I thought, like being young, my dad only went to college for like 2 years. My stepmom wasn't really in the picture at that point. So my dad didn't really even know much about financial aid, about school, about how to put me through college the right way. So just because he passed away, I thought that I wouldn't be able to go anymore because I don't know how to do it. And dad's not here to show me how to do it anymore. So I just like put football on the back burner and just started like surviving and stuff like that. And then once I started working out or starting to run a business, I kind of realized that I didn't really miss football. It was just an outlet because it was so much crazy stuff going on at home, not being heard. Like I was growing up, nobody believes this, but growing up, I was really bad. I acted out so much, but I think it was just the way that we
Comes from
grew up.
dysfunction. Yeah, that
Yeah,
comes from
yeah.
being in
I
those
was, I
environments.
was,
Yep.
I was a bad kid or whatever. So growing up, I just suppressed all my feelings, and so that's why I played football to like get away from home. Like I literally asked to play football one summer because I was at home and I didn't want to be home and I was so bored. I was like, Dad, can I play football? Or Mom, can I play football? And they're like, yeah. So that's how I started playing football when I was 10, and then I kept playing all the way up to senior year. But once I stopped playing, I didn't really miss it as much as everybody else. Like I kind of had the feeling that I could probably still be playing because I was an athlete. I was like naturally athletic. I didn't really have the training that some of the other friends that I had did, and you could tell that they've been training for 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Just the only time I got to train or something was when I was at football practice. So I think it was just an outlet for me. And then once I got older, I kind of realized that it was an outlet and not a true passion because like now I don't really care that I'm not playing football. I think now, like some of my biggest motivators and priorities are like, being healthy, being fit. Because my dad passed away primarily because he was unhealthy. So staying healthy and being fit is a big priority of mine, and as well making money and being able to provide for me and my family because we don't have any parents anymore. So it's 9 siblings, and we just all take care of each other. So that's kind of my big
Interesting.
motivators today.
So what I got from you was like you just never naturally good at football and it was an outlet, which is that's dope. But when you knew that you had to transition and do something else, it didn't affect you like it may have affect your peers. And like how it affected me going through that, moments of depression and trying to self-discovery. You were kind of just like, well, shoot, I'm already in motion, I'm making money. Like, hey, it's just a, next phase. I love that. But I do want to touch on this a little bit more before we move on. I really want to ask you, where's your headspace today? Because it seems like you've always been in survival mode. Are you still in survival mode? Or are you kind of figuring this thing out?
I'm kind of figuring out a little bit because at first when I started my business, I kind of thought I figured it out because I was 19, and for me personally, I made like $6,000 a month. Coming from where I come from,
That's a big
my
deal,
dad
bro.
never my dad never did.
Self-made, yeah, that's a big
Yeah,
deal.
so I thought like I figured it out and everything, and like a month later, I blew all that money. Didn't have none of it, but I had a bunch of shoes. I went to the beach, spent like an absurd money at the beach or whatever. So that dude, just being young and like making. I'm not saying I've made a lot of money or whatever, but just being young and making more than I come from, I kind of spiraled a little bit and didn't manage it right or whatever. So this time around, I've kind of managed it a little bit more, but I still had some unexpected expenses occur because I don't have the financial systems that normal kids have my age. They have mom and dad. Mom and dad pays for their car, pays for their insurance, things of that nature. I take care of all of that. But because I do have the business, I'm able to take care of myself. And I'm kind of figuring out a little bit more, still some things that I need to work on or whatever. But I wouldn't say I'm in survival mode now. I'm kind of coasting, just trying to grow the business and make that work for me, as well as still get that college degree.
Oh, so you do plan on going back to college and finishing?
Oh yeah, that's another thing that was missing from all the videos because when I make my content, like I just be making it, man. Like I don't like try to I just be making it. So sometimes I leave something out. It's not intentional. Like I just like making content. Like I was making like 4 or 5 videos last night, like
Yeah.
12 p.m. just because I
So
like.
wait, hold that thought because I do want to go into your method when I get into the segment about branding because I think it's unique. You might have stumbled on something special by just having that method, but hold that thought. I'm gonna get there.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, so I'm just bringing everything up to speed. So it's safe to say, rough childhood, man. Unfortunately, you experienced some major loss in your family very early. Mother, then after that, father, which forced you to have to be kind of the man in the house, you and your siblings, to where now you guys are rallying together. Football's that outlet. You just so happen to be good at it. But because you had to survive, you were working and you realized you were also good at that. And you had a hustle, a part of you. You know, you had a motor. You go out and take a business venture and you end up striking gold. So I want to land here, bro. What influenced or inspired that idea to be like, bro, I'm gonna go out and clean people's yards, windows, homes? Like, bro, that is like a kid just doesn't like wake up one day be like, let me go ahead and provide this service, man. How did that idea come?
So it was just like I said a little bit earlier. Like I was always working, you know, working at jobs, but I was better than the person next to me, as in a sense, like I was more efficient with my time. I got things done faster. I mean, I was just better at each job I worked, and I was like, I just kind of want to get paid a little bit more. So, like I said, I was on Instagram, just scrolling, just trying to figure out, you know, what can I do to start making a little bit more money, like right now. And most things, you got to put up like a couple $1,000s just to get into.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously I couldn't do that because I'm just barely making $300 a week or whatever. So I came across a couple guys on Instagram that they had like big door-to-door sales teams driving Lambos, cleaning big houses in Charlotte and Texas, just all across the United States or whatever. And when I like actually started watching their videos, I'm like, bro, they're just walking up to people's doors and just talking to them. Like that's literally it. Like so I'm like, that
You
seems
talking
pretty.
about the videos when guys are talking and be like, how did you earn your fortunes? Those videos?
No, no, not those videos. So
Okay.
it's like the guys that I watch are like Oliver Lester, Josh Lester, and Caleb Moore. They record themselves door knocking. So when they knock on a door, they have somebody record it for them, and then they break up the video for like the whole conversation is probably like 5 minutes, but when you put it on Instagram, it comes out to like a 1 minute reel or whatever. So that's what I was watching. I was like, okay, so these guys are just walking up the doors, knocking on doors, and asking people to clean windows, basically saying, hey, we just did your neighbors, we can do you for super cheap or whatever, basically something like that. So I'm like, I can do that too. So then at that point I started to watch more Instagram reels and more YouTube videos, teaching myself how to sell, watching some like really big sales gurus that just know sales as a whole, and then as well the people that did what I wanted to do. So I watched all those videos for like 3 months straight, just because I was kind of nervous. Like I didn't know
Yeah.
if I wanted to get into it. I didn't know if I would be good at it because I never knocked on a stranger's door and asked them for money, basically. So I was like
Mm-hmm.
kind of nervous or whatever. But at one point I was like, bro, let's just do it because
Let's do it. Yeah.
yeah, I made an Instagram page and I was like, I put in my bio starting August 2005 or something. I mean, August 2024. And then a guy that was already in it, he was like, bro, just go ahead and start. Like, if you would have started 2 weeks ago, you probably could have made this money already. So I was like, bet I'm gonna just go ahead and start. So I had a job like canvassing door to door for like voting polls or something.
Yeah.
I paid all my bills up for like 2 months. So for 2 months, I didn't have to worry about bills. So then at that point, I quit my job. And then I just had my sister, because my car was broken down at that point. So I had my sister take me to Lowe's, Home Depot. I spent like $200 on just window cleaning equipment, like the basic stuff that I started out with. And then that first week in the neighborhood that I grew up in, I made $1,300 just knocking doors and cleaning windows. So I was like, okay, yeah, I think this works a little bit.
I think I'm on to something. I think I'm on to something. Bro, let me tell you something, bro. Let me now this is where I'm about to put on my old head OG hat on, bro, and tell you,
Okay.
which is you probably already know this, bro. You don't realize how much of a valuable principle you learn by having the cojones to either cold call someone or knock on doors. I believe that it's a skill set that is slowly fading. Back in my day, sound like an old head. Like that was usually people's first entry jobs. My dad had jobs like that. Like I knocked on my first job. I sold knives, bro. Had to knock on doors just like you. I had jobs where I was working in a telemarketer, like calling people, and I get how nervous it is. You hear no's, bro. You hear way more no's than you hear yes. And so for a
For sure.
teenager, that shit is frightening, right? but man, it's a skill that will take you anywhere, bro. And the fact that you kind of forced yourself to do it because you was in survival mode, but it worked out your favor. Like, I just want to let you know, bro, like what you discovered and developed, man, is a skill set, a principle, and a mindset that is more valuable than gold. So I just want to, from man to man, like, that's dope, bro. So whatever you do in your next venture, it doesn't matter. You've already kind of have what it takes to be successful by just being able to go and do that. All right, now I can get back to you. I just had to throw
Yeah,
that OG
I
in there.
appreciate that,
I
man.
got you. No, that's dope. So, all right, bro. So you get out there, you knock on some doors. You made you about $1,000 and some change. Was it first week that you
Yeah,
made
the
that?
first week I made like $1,300, and the way it happened was like Sunday. I'm like, I'm not going home till I book like 5 appointments or something. So from Sunday, I think I went out. I forgot what time I went out, but I was out
Mm-hmm.
knocking all day, from like, I don't know, maybe like 11 to like 8 o'clock at night on Sunday, and I was in the same neighborhood. I just knocked every single door, and I just setting appointments. Like that was like sometimes I do have big days like that, but I don't know. That day I was just first day I was just killing it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like 5 or 6 appointments, and then one or two of them canceled. But then when they canceled, I was able to go out and knock and just basically replace those jobs for that first week. So that first week was pretty fire.
Okay. So now let's talk, because it's safe to say you're an entrepreneur now, and you've been doing this now at least solid for about a year and some change. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, about a year.
About a year. Okay. Now at this point, at this stage in your business, are you starting to think of cool and clever ways to evolve and expand? Do you have a new method? You got a model? Take me where you're at right now, just business wise, mentally.
Yeah, so business wise and mentally,
Mm,
because at first I was like, until recently, like the past 2 months, I wasn't consistent with it at all. The first time I started, like I said, I did it for about a month and a week, and I made $6,000. And then I went on vacation, and when I got back, I kind of just started slacking, spent all that money. So then a little bit later, I started up again. I would start, I would stop, I would start, I would stop, and that pattern kept happening until about 2 to 3 months ago. And I just like sat with myself because I was like 2, 3 months ago, like I didn't have I didn't have any money. My car was messed up. Like it's just a bunch of bad stuff kept happening, and I didn't like the job. I had to go work back at Bojangles, but I was a manager at $15 an hour. But I was like, bro, like Zion, you have the potential to make this whole check, which is like $400 in like 2, 3 hours. Like, why are you not doing that? Like, so I sat down with myself and I talked to my sister, and we just had like a real conversation. She was like, Zion, like if you just kept going and you didn't stop over the past 8 months to 9 months, like you could have made an insane amount of money. You could have had trucks. You could have had a better car. Like you could have had everything that you wanted, but you didn't because you kept starting to stop. So I was like, yeah, you're right. So I finally like just forced myself to lock in and like just show up every single day and not quit because I had bad days, because that's what happened last time. Like, you know how sales is, you get yeses, you get nos, you get too many nos back to back, your morale goes down. So that's what happened to me. So I was like, this time, whether my morale goes down or not, I'm going to keep going out. I'm going to keep knocking. I'm going to keep working. And that's just what I've been doing this past month. So because I wasn't consistent in my first year, I'm not where I want to be in business, but I know I can get there with the consistency that I've showed myself within the past 2 months, if that makes
got
sense.
you. No, that's fair. That's fair. So let's fast forward, bro. Let's go ahead and let's create some shit. All right, me and you, we're gonna create. So, what's your vision, bro? What do you want to build?
Yeah. So for me personally, for let's just say we're doing window cleaning and power washing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have like a truck that's decked out with the whole power washing setup in the back, have it wrapped with like my logo, name, and brand. I think like wrapped business trucks are like so fire. So I want to have that as well. And then at least one or two techs that drive the trucks around and have the jobs already pre-booked from either ads or cold calling or having a team of door knockers as well. And then, once we get the first truck, we make money off that truck for a couple of months till we can get another truck, and then just keep adding more trucks, keep adding more techs, and then just keep going like that. And then we'll expand to, Charlotte, Greensboro, High Point, or whatever, because this whole time I've only been working at Winston-Salem. So, once I get trucks and level up a little bit, I'll be able to go a little bit further, go to bigger housing markets and things of that nature, and just keep expanding it more so. And like just teaching people, how to sell the way that I do, how to show up to jobs, how to clean the jobs, how to talk to people, how to deal with rude customers, how to deal with Karens, how to deal with people when they want to call the cops on you or whatever, and just teach like a couple people that, and then have them do the jobs for me. So then that way I'm just running the business, trying to secure more jobs, keep the schedule booked out, at least 2 weeks to a month advance
Absolutely.
every single week. That makes sense.
You ever consider even digitizing, having an app to where it allows for people to book, and so now, as well as you being able to get tech and contract people, to start off with, to be like, hey, I got this app, I got the platform, we can get on here, you can book, through me, through my company, and growing in that way. Have you ever thought of any of those type of ideas?
Yeah, I never even heard of like an app. Well, I guess, well, I have a website, not yet, but I'm like working on a website with one of the guys that I work with, and they'll
Okay.
be able to book on the website or whatever. But I do need to up my marketing game a lot, because as far as marketing, like the only thing that I do is just my content, and like my content is like, I don't think my content is geared toward my customer base, if that makes sense.
I see what you're
Because
saying.
people that I clean, they're like 40 to like, elderly people, and they're not on Instagram scrolling every night. So the way I get jobs is by door knocking and then word of mouth. So I do need more marketing geared toward my client base and not my content base, if that makes
Got
sense.
you. How solid and structured is your referral system?
Not that solid,
Got you. It's all good. It's
not
all
that
good.
yet. So
And I'm only asking not to drill you. I'm just trying to figure, areas where I can kind of give you some
yeah,
jewels, some
for
free
sure.
game.
Yeah, I
Like,
definitely
do
appreciate
you
that.
have it already? Like, maybe even a process like, listen, if I knock at this person's door, whether they hire me or not, I'm not leaving without at least 5 to 3 numbers. You know what I mean?
I've had that thought before, but I've never asked anybody for 3 to 4 referrals on the door unless I close them at the end. And when I finish a job, then I'd be like, hey, do you guys know 1 or 2 people you could, send my number to, or I'll send you this
Yeah.
flyer, I'll give you this business card, and then you can just push it out to whoever you think, will want their house clean. And then
Yeah.
sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes I do get a couple jobs from those. And then as well, because I've been making content for the past month or two, I have had a couple jobs from that. I got my first commercial job from my content, was basically like a buddy I went to high school with. His dad owned the business, and he reached out to me, and I cleaned for him. And I have another job tomorrow from basically from that same interaction in Lake
Okay.
Norman. I'm cleaning like a lake house for him and stuff like that.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, it's coming along. Just keep all those things in mind. I know the more that you go, the more that you're going to start systematizing,
Mhm.
your referral structure, as well as even your business, how you go about getting clients, how you schedule, et cetera, et cetera. But like I said,
Yeah.
over time, it'll come. I just wanted to open up those thoughts so that you can just be thinking about those things, and you'll know when you want to execute it and take advantage of them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's dope, bro. How long does it usually take you to do a job?
Yeah, so something cool that recently happened. This the first commercial job that I did. I cleaned windows for him. He owns an Eastern food equipment business. So I cleaned windows for his commercial building. It took like 2 hours. But when I finished with that, he gave me a window clean pamphlet, and he was like, whatever you want in here, I'll buy for you. And I was like, nah, you're kidding, bro. He's like, no, I'm for real. Whatever you want, just let me know and I'll buy it for you. And I was like, bet. I already knew what I wanted when he gave it to me. So I was
Yeah.
like, because I've been doing it for about a year, so there's like water fed poles. They're like a
Mhm.
couple $1,000s or whatever.
Yeah.
Exterior window cleaning, it gets the job done in like 1 to 2 hours
Oh,
versus
wow.
using squeegees and poles and ladders, which if it's a really big house, it'll take me 3 to 4 hours. But
Right.
I just got that window cleaning set up a couple weeks ago, and I put it to use a couple times. So now those big jobs that take me 3 to 4 hours only take me 1 to 2 hours, and I can still charge the same price. But sometimes I just lower price a little bit just to be more reasonable, because if I'm gonna be working out there for 2 hours, and sometimes if it's not a really really big house, and I just lower the price, just work them a little bit, just because I'm not out here trying to tax every homeowner, because that's insane.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's smart. And you're already starting to build, like I said, you're starting to build your tools and your equipment. It's just over time, it's just going to continue to expand as you continue to go.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so it takes you a couple hours to do it, and right now you're doing everything solo mission, or do you have a team or any assistants helping
Yeah,
you?
so right now it's pretty much solo. The only time that I do bring along a buddy or a friend is when I do have like a bigger job, when I'm cleaning the outside and the inside. So that's like the job tomorrow. I'm gonna clean the outside with the new setup I got, and my buddy's gonna clean the inside of all the windows, and it'll probably take about 2 hours. So on the bigger jobs, I bring a buddy, but for the most part, I'm able to knock out every job by myself. Just starting out. Eventually, I'm gonna have somebody do every job for me. But we're not there yet.
No, I love it. I love it. All right. So now I do want to talk about the fun part, which is the branding. Because whether what you're doing is intentional or not, I love it. I love the way you tell stories. I love the way that you allow yourself to, you're able to blend in vulnerability with optimistic. I might be saying this wrong. Optimism? Is that the word?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
optimism.
optimism is good.
With optimism as well as a tangible, because you're providing a service. So, man, walk me through your mind on how you put these videos together, your concept, share your vision.
Yeah. So when I started doing this, like I said, I was watching, videos of how to do it. And as well, like those guys as well would show their journey, how they sell, how they clean, how they pay their techs, just literally everything about the business. They would post videos of them just talking at night about their day, or post videos of them talking to clients, or like any funny or like weird interactions. They would just post those. So I'm like, I think that's pretty cool. Like they're out here making money, having a good time, and just showing the whole world. So I'm like, I kind of want to do that too, because
Yeah.
at the same time, like I want to, be a business owner, but with the day and age, content creation is a big thing. I want to be a content creator too. So every time I've ran my business, I've made a little bit of videos. But like I said, since I wasn't consistent with my business, I wasn't consistent with content either. But this time, since I've been consistent with business, I've been able to be consistent with content because I'm always working every day. So it's nothing to pull out the phone and just start recording and then come home at night and just put it all
Yeah.
together. And then as far as
Yeah.
like what type of content I make, I kind of just wing it every day. Like there's no rhythm to it or no system to it, but it should be a system because I know the big content creators, they have a system, they have set posts or whatever. But I kind of just like
Yeah.
wing everything. I just know that when I'm out there door knocking, I record every chance I get. Or if I just have
Okay.
like a good day or like a funny interaction, then I just open my phone and just start talking about something. Or if I make a video and people are in the comments, saying, asking a bunch of questions, then I'll make another video about that. I did that a couple of times. But I just kind of just be making stuff. Like if I see something that's
So it
funny.
sounds like you're kind of just organically trying out things, and what works you add it to, your brand, or your, not your script, but you add it, and over time it's going to evolve, and then eventually it'll be intentional. But the good thing, like you said, I'm glad you pointed it out, is the consistency. So it's like once you realize that, like, I got something here with this business, and you decided to fully invest and be consistent with that, it allowed you to be consistent with the posting and recording.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Man, like I said, I really, really love that. How does these not your guests, but how do your clients respond to you asking them for the business and it's on camera? Like, clearly it's working, but that's something that would have me nervous. Like, it's one thing to knock on somebody's door and be like, "Hey, sir, I would like to wash your windows," but it's another thing to be like, "You better not say no. I got you on camera here." You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, so for the most part, when I do record, I just like have my phone just like this. I'm just talking to the client. And for the most part, they see the camera and they just act like it's not there. But there was one interaction where after I posted the video, a guy reached out to me, said, "Take my house off your page, take my cars off your page." So I was like, "Yes, sir." I took it
That makes
down.
sense.
But other than that, people don't really care that they're being recorded because when I present myself on the doors, I'm I talk slow, I'm clear, I'm professional, I'm respectful. So as long as they're not like being hostile about the camera or hostile about me, then it's okay to record because people ask
That's
that as
fair.
well. Like, why are you recording? Did you ask that man if you can record them? You know, I guess you do have to ask for permission, but if they see you actively recording and they don't say nothing, then that
They
means
don't
they're
say
okay.
that. Then they know. And I think now we're living in a world where people are just now getting used to getting comfortable with being on camera, because it's a camera everywhere, and that's just starting to be the norm. The timing is right. Like, I can imagine me doing that back in freaking 1998 and 2000. They would have been like, "Dude, first of all, why are you on my porch? Second of all, why are you recording? Like, are you the fans? Like, who are you? What's going on? Is this a prank? What's going on?" So now things has changed, and you can do that. That makes sense. All right. So look, I want to lighten this up a little bit because you're busy, bro. And like I said, based off of the story you told me, it seems like you've done had your head down and just trying to figure out how to figure this shit out, right? And now that you kind of have an avenue, have a lane, and you're trying to master your craft right now, man, what does Zion like to do for fun, man? Do you get a chance to kind of decompress and just chill a little bit? Like, what you got going on, man?
Honestly, Well, for fun, well, for a while, I was playing video games before I started my business a second time. But I realized like video games was making me unproductive because I would sit and play video games for like 10 hours straight. But then I didn't go to work today. I have no money, but I'm mad that I'm losing in the video game. But I was like, I told myself, I'm mad I'm losing the video game, but I'm not mad I'm losing in life. So like, I got rid of my video game and gave that away just to like lock in with my business and
Hmm.
stuff. So I don't have a video game right now. I think that makes me a little bit more productive. But like, as far as what I
Yeah.
like to do in my off time, like I said, I have five sisters and three brothers. So I just like to spend a lot of time with them. You know, just go out, go for a walk, just go over there, just spend time with each other, just talk. Because you know nowadays family is a touchy subject, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't see their family as much as they should. So with the things that I've been through, I kind of make it a point to randomly call them, randomly go see them. You know, I'm doing a little bit better financially than some of them. So, you know, I send them money whenever they need it or basically whenever they want it, honestly, because that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want to be able to help and provide for them.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm a
Yeah.
big family guy. I always want to hang out with them, hang out with my homeboys, you know, playing games at their house, going to the gym together, grabbing some snacks, you know, just something like that. Nothing too
Yeah.
crazy. This past summer, I've just been working a lot. The only time I
Yeah.
take Sundays off just because I go to church on Sundays and I spend time with family on Sundays. But other than that, like Monday through Saturday, like I'm working, I'm knocking doors, I'm making content, I'm trying to get more jobs, you know, things of that nature.
No significant other, man.
No, for a while I did have one, but not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay. Yeah, you focus. You focus. Look, girls, weed, and video games is the devil. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing. No, I think, like I said, right now, you're very focused. You're focusing on your career. What? No, your business and your family, and all of those things will come in play. But I do want to tell you, is sometimes it's okay, and maybe this is me talking to the younger self. Sometimes it's okay to come up for air, and appreciate, some of the things that you're doing, but you know when to lock in and stay focused. Just stay consistent, like
Yeah.
we're just talking about. Has any of your siblings like offered to be like, hey man, I think you got an idea. Let's let this be a family business, or have you approached them of that, or is that something that maybe you're not interested?
Yeah. So because we're all under 25 with no parents, like pretty much everybody's just surviving.
I
One of my
got you.
sisters, my oldest brother, unfortunately, I haven't talked to him in like 2 or 3 years since my dad passed away,
Hmm.
just because of like testosterone and dad being gone. So somebody's got to step up to be the man, and we just
Yep.
started butting heads after that. But besides that, one of my sisters is a teacher. One of my sisters is a news reporter for Spectrum in Raleigh, and then my other
Nice.
siblings just basically trying to figure it out like I am. So when there's times where I need help with the business, if they're available, I'd like they'll help me. But if not, then they're working or trying to provide for themselves or things of that nature. So I can't really use them as much as I want to. And then as well as my three brothers, like I said, I haven't talked to my older brother in 3 years. I've talked to my younger brothers until recently. So when I started this, I haven't talked to my brothers in like 2 years, and I was like, dang man, I wish my little bro was here or my big bro was here. We could be doing this together or whatever. But now, they're like 3, 4 hours away. So I'm just doing it by myself. And then it's kind of demanding work. So when I started it, like I was like, yo, let's go knock doors together with my sisters, or let's do this together with my sisters. And they weren't they weren't for it because they're like, no, it's too hot. I'm not sweating. I'm not getting on no ladders. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So the only time I use them is when we're just like cleaning inside, and all I gotta do is walk around in the AC and just wipe glass.
Yeah. Find out the things that they may be passionate about or interested in or even good at, and figure out how you can attach that to your business. Maybe they might not be the cleaner. You know what I mean? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they might not even want to go outside to record, but it might be something else that they're real good at, being organized and making sure that your schedule is straight and that all of
Yeah.
those things. Like, it sounds like, and it's safe to say, I hope I'm not embarrassing anyone in your family. It sounds like you are the leader of the family, even though you're not the oldest, because you're the one that's producing it and got some things going on.
I'd say in a
Yeah.
way, because I'm the sixth youngest, but some of my sisters call me their big older brother just
Right.
because of my mindset, my drive. Like I
Yeah.
try to push them to do this, push them to do that, and I help them when I can. They help me when they can. So, in a sense, I guess.
I know you've been humble, but that's what it looks like. I can read the room. I got you, bro. You would really appreciate yourself, and they'll appreciate you if you found avenues and ways to kind of put them on. But at the same time, if they aren't ready, you don't want to do that because it could be a catastrophe. They could bring you back. So like, it is a fine line of knowing like, hey, this. my family, we can work together and be resources for each other versus like, nah, you just got in the way. So, I mean, use your discernment on making that selection. But I just, we wanted to plant some seeds and things to think
Yeah.
about, while
For
you're on this
sure,
journey.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely when I do get to where I want to be, I have a couple of trucks and things of that nature. I have like a sales team or like office or something like that. Then I would definitely feel more comfortable incorporating my family into the business because then at that
Yeah.
point, it's really just a business instead of a solo operation. So there's actually roles that they can fulfill, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I love it. I love it. Do you currently read? Is there anything that like, what are you? Are you a reader or a podcast guy? What's your thing?
I'm a podcast guy.
Okay.
I've got a couple books, but I always buy books and don't read them. So I just listen
Okay.
to like podcasts, people that are like in the sales space and, they talk about sales and they also like give out motivation as well. So definitely
Okay.
a big podcast guy or
I
Instagram
love
reels
it.
guy. Like my reels feed is just straight window cleaning, business mindset, financial success, financial strategies, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, shit, like I said, man, I'm an old head. Put me on game. What should I be into? What's podcasts I should be looking up or.
Well, me, I listen to Andy Elliott a lot. He's a sales guru.
Mm,
Anything sales. His story is kind of crazy like mine. Like his dad was abusive, crazy kid story, but he started selling cars at like 17, ended up making like 500K selling cars from being dead broken, and that just turned up his life. So now he's like a big sales guru. I listen to him. I listen to Daniel G, another sales guru that just teaches you how to sell, how to talk, and then as well, Daniel G, he's into like energies. So like, don't give your energy to negative situations.
yeah.
Don't just lay down with anybody because you're giving your energy away. You got a job or something to do tomorrow, but you're giving energy to somebody tonight when you need that energy for tomorrow. So, things of that nature.
For
So that's what
real.
Daniel D talks about. And then this one's kind of controversial, but I listen to Andrew Tate a lot just
Okay.
because like, he just, me personally, I don't agree with everything he says, but there is some like gems in there. He's just like, just being real, just telling men how to be men and what a man's supposed to be. So I listen to him sometimes too.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. You can listen, man. You can get value from anyone that has a platform. You just like you said, use your discernment, know what is helpful for you and what you can discard. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
It's a good
sure.
approach. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So look, this is the segment where I want to play a game with you. I call it bag or broke. So yes. So it's a hypothetical. Yeah. You either gonna get the bag or you're gonna go broke, right? So let's say you got the opportunity to play collegiate football and you were fortunate enough to get a pretty hefty NIL deal. Pick a number. What was your NIL?
Let's just say like 250K or something.
There we go. All right, I'm about to say, I was like, man, please don't shortchange me. I thought you was gonna hit me for the 20. Like, come on, bro. You gonna get this bag, right? All right.
I
All
won't
right.
do
So
that.
we working with almost a quarter mil. Okay, a little bit more than a quarter mil. All right. So now you got 250, bro. What are you gonna do with that?
I do it 250. I'd send money to all my siblings.
Okay.
Make sure they all have what they need. Probably buy everybody that don't have a car, buy them a car. Make sure that they have, just the basic necessities. I get myself a decent car, and then put some money aside to save. Put some money to invest into a business venture. Because if I'm playing football, I probably can't run a business at the same time unless it's like a
Mhm.
social media business. I know
Right.
I am business minded, so I would want to set some money aside for that, and then invest some as well. And then also, if I can, like at one point, like I want to have like a house, like a either a big house or a big loft or something. So all my siblings can just come over whenever they want, like randomly come spend like 2 weeks with me or something. If their situation is not what their situation is, like really just for me, like everything's about family because it's nine of us, five girls, four boys, no parents. So I'm just trying to get rich or financially stable as fast as I can just so that I can help all my siblings out as fast as I can. So if I got 250K, like I'm taking care of them first.
I love it, man. That's where your priorities at. You want to make sure your family's straight. Then like you still said save and invest and look for your future. So no, I love it. That's a little game that I like to play. So we're about wrapping it up now, but I also want to give you the platform. I know we talked about your business and everything, but I want to give you this opportunity to really kind of, share and promote your business. So if you don't mind sharing with the audience, how can they, find you, where they can find you, give us your spiel, bro.
Yeah, so my business name is BK Cleaning. I have a Google. If you search my name BK Cleaning up on Google, it'll come up. And I also have an Instagram page, DMS Power Washing, and then my personal Instagram page, which is Zion.Douglas. And my phone number is on my business page and on the Google page. So they can reach me through there. I do window cleaning, I do power washing, That's power washing roofs, houses, concretes, driveways. I tell people anything outside, we can clean it. So anything outside, we can clean it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Y'all heard it there. Man, before I let you go, you got any questions for me, man?
Not any questions, man. I just want to thank you for letting me come on the platform, man. In this journey, I didn't think that my content would take off the way it did and the things that would happen from the content. So I just appreciate you reaching out, an older guy with some experience. I always appreciate you guys talking to me, telling me what you know, giving me the platform to talk. I definitely appreciate that.
No, man, I appreciate you. Like I said, sometimes I think that's sometimes the problem. It's a disconnect in communication between the different generations because although we are all in our own individual and collective struggles, a lot of times we think our struggles are different, but it's really the same. And sometimes because of what I've gone through, whether it be positive or negative, if I can kind of give you some tokens, it can help you get to your destination faster or save you some landmines. So just you being humble and receptive to even sit down and, allow me to steal an hour of your time, I'm thankful and gracious for. So not only am I adding value to you, you are really adding a lot of tremendous value to me because I love, the youth and to pick their brain and see where they're at with everything. So yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you being on this platform, man. I appreciate your time. All of the above. Y'all know where to go. And if you need your windows washed, if you need your roof washed, he washing everything. He'll wash your driveway, all of that. What is it? BK Cleaning, right?
Yeah, BK Cleaning.
Man, I love it. I love it. Sweet. Well, there you guys have it. You know me. It's me, Coach J-Bo. And we are just about to close up this conversation of Athlete Mindset Reset. Y'all know the deal. In the meantime, stay positive, stay productive, but most importantly, stay in the present. And I'm out of here.